McKinney North had a year that the Bulldogs won't soon forget as Coach Jon Stein joins us now. And John, it certainly starts with Jordan Hart winning the first state tennis championship in school history, really in McKinney ISD history. But also beyond that, this whole team was stellar this year. You were second at district here in the spring, second in Class 4A Region 2, and ranked fifth in the state by the end of the year. Even in your wildest dreams, did you imagine anything like this?
Yeah, yes and no, Ted. I mean, we had, coming in August, I was like, man, we got a good team. Man, we got a good team, you know. But it's one thing to take potential and then, especially when you're dealing with 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and making that a realization, you know. And I couldn't be prouder of the kids in that we did do that. We set that goal from day one. Hey, we're going to be a top 10 team. Hey, we're going to make the regional final. We just got to take care of business along the way. And we did it, because I've had good teams. I've had teams I thought were regional final you know, ability, but we couldn't get the job done. And so, you know, it was a great effort and an unbelievable run, and definitely one of the proudest things I've ever accomplished in my coaching career.
Individually, Hart piling up the gold medals over the last month. He wins the district title in boys singles. He follows that up with the first regional title in North history, and then he caps it off with a state championship. How did he pull off that trifecta?
You know, it's been 2 weeks, and I'm still wondering. No, he came in and about March, it was one of those things. He started hitting the ball so clean. I mean, I hit with him pretty much every day, and I started noticing, man, this guy, the ball's getting heavier, it's getting deeper, it's getting stronger. He's hitting the ball cleaner. You know, and I knew he had wins over pretty much everyone in the region in 4A. I mean, the kid only lost, I think, 2 matches in the spring, and both of them were to, you know, 5A state qualifiers, you know. So, I mean, it was, I don't want to say it was destiny because it was still tough, but it was one of those things, it was like, it was the same thing about the team. Well, I thought he had the potential, but getting through all the drama and the you know, and the effort and having good days and bad days, you know, could he put 12 matches in a row together, you know, and he did.
John, you say you're still wondering how he did it. Do you think this is going to sink in at all for Jordan? Is it sinking in right now how monumental these accomplishments are, what he did in his junior season?
I hope so. I mean, I hope he realizes, you know, I told him, you know, I mean, he's one of the most humble kids you'll ever meet, one of the most quiet kids you'll ever meet. I mean, he's funny, but he's very, you know, he's kind of just like, after we got done, he took some pictures, and then he asked where we're eating. You know, I mean, it's just one of those kids that he's a joy to coach. I mean, yeah, I tell him all the time, he's, you know, he's very high, you know, USTA ranked, nationally ranked and all that, but when you go out into the real world, you know, very few people are going to understand, oh, you were the, you know, 17th ranked super champ in Texas. But I don't care if it's ping pong or, you know, croquet, you're going to recognize a state championship or a state champion. And I think hopefully it's something he'll carry with him for the rest of his life. I mean, I think it's a lifetime achievement.
Jordan Hart, obviously easy to please, gets his trophy and, oh, what's for dinner?
That's right.
That's good. That's a good attitude to have. What a matchup in that state final. Jordan Hart squaring off with Austin Mayo of Lake Travis. Last year, Mayo and Connor O'Rourke beat Jordan Hart and Matt Matei in the state quarterfinals of boys doubles. So Jordan obviously very familiar with Mayo, and not just from last year, but throughout their careers up to this point. Was that in the back of his mind, that loss a year ago as they met in the state final this year? You
know, I think maybe a little. I think Jordan had seen his own improvement over this calendar year, and so I don't think he was necessarily worried about Mayo. You know, Mayo's a great player and a great kid. Nothing I don't want to take anything away from him, but it was one of those things. It was a good matchup for Jordan in singles. You know, doubles, I think, you know, Mayo is probably a little bit stronger player in that type of situation. He definitely carried, in my opinion, O'Rourke last year to the state championship. But singles, I think the conditioning, you know, Jordan's ability to be very, you know, very pragmatic about things and very systematic. You know, Mayo's a big hitter. He wants to, you know, he wants to be flashy, and I think if Jordan could just balance that with his own consistency and his own kind of mental strength, I thought we were going to be fine.
John, Jordan rallies back from a set down to win in 3. What was the key to that comeback?
You know, I think he had the first set, and he was serving for it at 5-4, kind of slipped away. And I could see the frustration. I mean, Jordan's not the kind of guy that gets frustrated very easily, and I could see that those type of thoughts were creeping in his mind. I just kept telling him, there's two ways this can go. You can just let it go, and we're going to be done in another 20 minutes, or you can dig back in, and we can go to work, and that's why there's 3 sets in tennis. And he fought off 3, championship points as well at the end of that second set. I still not sure how that happened. You think if a top-level player gets 3 chances to win the state title, he probably will do it, but Jordan just kept in there and kept digging and clawing with him. And, the strategy worked. I think the first set, Jordan was struggling to get the ball to Mayo's backhand, but by the second and third set, obviously the third set was 6-1. Jordan was just punishing his obvious weakness.
Where has he improved the most since you started coaching him? I remember last year you described him as a robotic stud. It seems like he's come leaps and bounds even from that point when he was an elite tennis player as a sophomore.
Yeah, I think his conditioning has improved a lot. Not that he was ever out of shape. Not that I should joke about that, but it's one of those things that, I think he's just become stronger. I think playing up a level or playing the older kids, the 16, 18-year-olds, has really, proven. He's done a lot of work on his own. You're not going to find a kid that puts in more effort than Jordan. I guarantee you whether he's down at Brookhaven or with us or wherever the case may be, he's putting in full effort to every practice, to every workout he does. And I think it's been a mental thing for him, too. I think he was close to winning a lot of those big matches over the last 2 years. Now he's starting to win them, and you start to see the confidence just building on itself with him.
So, John, you split that doubles tandem of Hart and Matt Matei. Matei embracing that new challenge in singles. He finished 4th in the district tournament. What should he take from this season?
Matt's an amazing kid and an amazing athlete. He's incredibly gifted. It was one of those things that Highland Park was loading up in doubles. It's not that I didn't have the confidence in those two. It was just a situation that I thought we had the golden horse, in Jordan, that he had a real chance to get to Austin and possibly win it if he got the right draw. And I thought Matt had an equally good chance to get out of our district in singles, and Matt played well. The guys that he lost to at district were, one of them was a state qualifier in Brandon Hoagland, and the other one, was a high-ranked, solid super champ. I would never discredit any accomplishments that Matt has had over the last couple of years, and I think he's kind of what I deem as a great example of what I want my program to be like. He really isn't entrenched in the USTA and all the outside programs. He's basically just a high school tennis player, but he's made the most of that. Just have a guy, when you look at those state rosters of the Plano West and the McKinney Boyds and the Bronzevilles, those are all super champs. Those are all top-level USTA players. And for Matt to get there last year with Jordan in doubles is an unbelievable accomplishment for Matt. Something that he should also take with him for the rest of his life.
So Jordan and Matt out of doubles this year. Meanwhile, you had 2 pairs that picked up where they left off. Shane Conway and Darian Flores, 3rd at the district tournament. Right behind those 2, Mason Cagley and Caleb Orr. What did you like about those doubles teams?
I saw Shane and Darian almost beat the number 2 Highland Park doubles team, 3 times. We lost them in 3 close matches, both in the fall, and I thought, man, if we catch fire, if something happens, we can take those guys. And we got a shot at them. We had a shot at them in the playback in district. And it's one of those things in our district, with Island Park, with Pierce, with Rockwall coming along, and us, 3rd place in our district might be as good as 3rd place in the region, And so I think that's a little bit hard for the kids to see that, man, I was in, I didn't get out of my own district. Well,
look who you're playing.
Yeah.
The stalwarts of high school tennis, not just in the area, but the state, Highland Park and Pierce, like you mentioned. And it was a 3rd place finish for the girls' doubles tandem of Rebecca Rose and Anna Schreier. And what a journey this has been for Anna. 2 years ago, she wins a district championship in singles as a sophomore. Last year, injuries set her back, and she makes the transition, a successful transition to doubles this year.
Yeah, she had a great season. They had a great season together. They won a lot good matches, and they did well in a lot of individual tournaments. Going into district, we thought, we were the 2 seed. We thought HP had weakened one of their girls' doubles teams. Come to find out, seeding meeting, they strengthened it, making girls' singles a lot weaker in our district. But, it is what it is. They had a chance, and I thought they played well. I thought they played well. Anna has been probably, her and Matt have probably been some of the key people in getting our program back on top, and from where it was, when they were freshmen to where they are, to where it is now, is leaps and bounds. And I couldn't be more thankful for kids like that. And Rebecca's the same way. She's coming back next year, has a chance to play at the top of the lineup, solid player. If she puts in the work this summer, it's going to be, the sky's the limit. I mean, she's a gifted athlete as well, and a very, very, very tough competitor. So, they had a great season, I thought. You never want to have your favorite seniors or your favorite kids go out in district. You want them to have that regional experience, and it's tough. Like you said, it is what it is when you have HP in your district. But I guess that excuse kind of gets old. I'd like to move past that and say, all right, we're taking them out in different draws, and that's where I want to be and hopefully in the near future.
You mentioned Anna, you mentioned Matt Matei, and I know how much you're going to miss these seniors, and along with Kira Smith, who was able to achieve 3rd place in mixed doubles with Colby Seamster this year.
Yeah, they also had a great tournament. Again, they had a really rough spring. I mean, they played a lot of very good teams along the way, and played a lot of good teams very close. And coming in, they were definitely in that mix to get out of district, and they really were just a set away in that semi, and Highland Park, I don't know if it's something in the water or what, just finds a way to grind out key points, but Kira's another one that, you could always count on to produce, for the team and be deep in the tournaments and, be an all-district quality player. And, and I know she debated some college tennis and all that. And I mean, she again is another one who I can't even put into words how much this year she's improved in doubles. She's always been a solid singles player, but her volleys, her court awareness have just come leaps and bounds, and it showed, because I mean they beat some good mixed doubles teams, and they played some mixed doubles teams that were down at state, including the state champion. They played them about as close as anybody did, So it's been a fun run, and Colby, definitely played his heart out, and he's the kind of kid that never lacks for the emotional effort or the determination to win, and they were so close. And again, it's one of those you want those kids to have a shot at the next level, because getting 3rd behind those 2 HP teams, like we said, is basically like being in the regional semis, and so they deserve that. I wish I could have given them that, or they wish they could have gotten that, but at the same time, they should be incredibly proud of what they accomplished.
John, you've celebrated milestone after milestone this whole year. Go back to the fall, the 250th dual match victory. I mean, number 300 isn't that far away at this point. Jordan Hart state title here in the spring. What are you shooting for now as you head into a new district and open the 2nd decade of this program?
I mean, we keep winning. I do. I would love, I know hopefully this is not as far off as it seems, but I would love to be a tennis coach that coached to 1,000, dual match wins. That would be a great accomplishment. And with each time that we go out there, that's my expectation. My expectation is that we're going to battle and we're going to attempt to win. We're moving into a district that's probably a little bit, obviously, when you get Highland Park out of there, a little bit weaker. It's still not, it's not a cakewalk, and I don't want our kids to feel that way. I want our kids to be prepared that, look, you've been battling Highland Park, you've been, battling the Wichita Fall Riders and and these other teams that are always in 4A at the 4A state tournament, and you've been right there with them. I want that tradition to continue. I'd love to win the district championship in 13-4A. Of course I would, but at the same time, I want to be in that regional final again. I want to chip away at that Highland Park mystique. I'll You know, one of the reasons I want to stay at McKinney North, and I hope we stay 4A for a while to come, is that I want to be the first team that knocks them out, you know, in the 30-something years they've been going down there. I like to, when everyone pencils in that HP, I would love for somebody to open the paper and go, what? McKinney North. You know, that would be a dream for me, Ted, an absolute dream.
Well, John, that dream might become reality very soon. We appreciate the time. Congratulations this season.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Jon Stein, head coach of McKinney North. Hey, from district titles to state titles, the Bulldogs have joined the elite in Texas high school tennis.